An ancient, powerful noble named Rai wakes up in the modern world after an 820-year slumber. Alongside his loyal servant Frankenstein, Rai enrolls in high school and befriends a group of students. Together, they face dangerous enemies and uncover dark secrets while navigating the complexities of the human world. The lone soldier's desperate call to his base ends tragically as he meets a gruesome demise at the hands of Grants. Meanwhile, Hammer and Shark unleash havoc upon the surviving escapees, leaving no room for mercy. From afar, Tao realizes their target is elsewhere and sends Takeo to intercept. Takeo proves his prowess by swiftly eliminating the opposing soldiers. The setting then transitions to Toshiro and Manabu's eventful morning walk to school, where they encounter a new guard named M21. After exchanging greetings, M21's curiosity leads him to inquire about Toshiro's arm, which he injured while protecting a stranger during an accident. Frankenstein and Rizel delve into a revealing flashback, where M21 shares the tragic secrets of the Union and the M-Series experiments. Filled with remorse for his fallen comrade, M21 finds solace when Frankenstein graciously offers him a place to stay and a job at the school. As M21 observes the joyful students in the courtyard, the serene atmosphere is shattered by a reckless car. A gang targets Toshiro, pushing M21 to make a difficult choice, reveal his true strength or maintain a low profile. Ultimately, he jumps into action, showcasing his superior combat prowess. With ease, he subdues the aggressor, reminding him of the mercy he received. Reflecting on his troubled past, M21 yearns for a normal life and confides in Frankenstein. Seeking redemption, he vows to keep a promise and fulfill his commitment. Meanwhile, DA5 plans its investigation. Regis and Sarah dig deeper into the enigmatic incidents, realizing the immense power involved surpasses human limits. Determined to handle it their own way, they storm into the school demanding answers from M21. Frankenstein plays along with their mistaken assumption that he's an ordinary human. Toshiro is assigned to guide Regis and Sarah. Regis senses Rizel's extraordinary aura but remains oblivious to his true nature. M21 and Frankenstein discuss the newcomers and Rizel's noble status. Frankenstein reveals the history of noble beings protecting humans. M21 connects the dots, recognizing Sarah and Regis as fellow nobles. Frankenstein returns home to find chaos with Rizel's guests. Sarah discovers a Union tattoo on M21's arm, sparking a private confrontation with M21. Their banter reveals hidden agendas and a quest for uncontrollable power from the coffin. On the way home, Toshiro confronts bullies eyeing Sarah, putting a knife on Rizel's neck. Meanwhile, M21 reveals the thieves are dead, but Regis doesn't know that Noblesse has already escaped. They clash in a battle. Toshiro fights fiercely against assailants, impressing Regis. During their walk, M21 challenges Regis, claiming that humans have evolved and no longer need nobles. He questions Regis' motives and advises him against interfering in the human world. How will Regis reconcile M21's words about the changing nature of humans in the role of nobles? Regis finds himself uncertain about the success of his brainwashing of Rizel. Meanwhile, Tao and his team discuss the reports of the recent incident, recognizing the involvement of superpowered individuals. The whereabouts of M21 and M24 remains a mystery, leading the team to consider their capture alive. During security checks, Manabu uncovers a hacker Tao who engages in a playful exchange. Toshiro unintentionally interrupts, discovering Tao's gender and Manabu's sexual orientation. Toshiro pledges to defend him against potential bullies. Tao swiftly infiltrates the servers, acquiring valuable information and surveillance footage of M21. Hammer and Shark receive the order to capture him. At Frankenstein's home, tensions rise between Regis and M21. M21 discloses his presence in human society to fulfill a promise to a dear friend. Under the cover of the night, Shark and Hammer confront M21 alone. Shark taunts M21 about M24, triggering a fierce clash. Outmatched by the powerful duo, M21 finds himself cornered and brutally injured. However, just as all hope seems lost, Regis and Sarah appear, mocking Shark and Hammer's appearances. Regis recognizes their abnormal nature. When Shark charges at Regis, M21 selflessly shields him. Krantz arrives, reprimanding Shark for his murderous intent. M21 cooperates with Krantz, seeing an opportunity to uncover his comrades and his own real names. Regis is left questioning M21's motives, wondering if he lied about his promise and if there is a hidden mission at play. Manabu and Tao clash as Manabu protects the servers and Tao breaches them. Sarah reveals to Frankenstein that M21 left on a mysterious mission, causing concern for Reisel's safety. Interrogated by DA5, M21 strikes a deal to exchange information for answers. Tao opens up about feeling unappreciated, finding solace in their shared disregard. Meanwhile, Toshiro defends a foreigner, Takeo, who feigns unfamiliarity with Japan. As they briefly walk together, Tao and Takeo discuss the possibility of finding Takeo's captive sister. However, Takeo rejects Tao's support, revealing his emotional unavailability to Tao's well-meaning efforts. Shark threatens M21's life, but Takeo intervenes, unwilling to let Shark cross the line again. Insulted, Shark claims to have killed those spared by Takeo before, leading Takeo to draw his gun in defiance. Tao tries to restrain Takeo as Shark reveals that the Union may have already killed Takeo's sister, claiming obedience to Kran's orders. Shark's words shatter Takeo, causing him to drop his weapon in despair. Shark targets Regis, but Regis taunts him confidently. They clash in a fierce battle, and Shark identifies Regis as the escaped Noblesse. Hammer intervenes, offering Shark a transformation pill. Just as Regis gains the upper hand, Hammer brings Shiro and Manabu, forcing Regis to cooperate to protect them. Reluctantly, Regis complies. Shark takes the unconscious and bound group to their hideout. Regis wakes up surrounded by the elite team and M21, who warns him not to make any move that would harm the kids. Toshiro and Kasi awaken, recognizing Tao and Takeo. Shark and Hammer taunt Kasi's respect for Tao as their leader. They reveal that M21 is the cause of the current situation. Sarah, Reisel, and Frankenstein each embark on their own missions to rescue. Shark brutalizes Toshiro while Tao and Takeo question the need for such violence, only to be dismissed by Krantz. Sarah confronts Hammer, who hinders her path with explosives, but she effortlessly overpowers him. As Shark tightens his grip on Toshiro's life, M21 struggles with a moral dilemma: save the kids or learn his comrades' names. He realizes that M24 would forgive him for prioritizing the children's safety. Frankenstein encourages Reisel to proceed while he confronts Takeo on the roof. Regis breaks free and battles Shark, while M21 is unable to fight. Krantz takes a pill, killing Shark and absorbing his power. He reveals the purpose of the pill, and Reisel enters the scene. In a fierce confrontation, Frankenstein unleashes his true power against Takeo, overwhelming him effortlessly. Takeo accepts his fate as punishment for the lives lost because of him, but a memory of his sister reignites his fighting spirit. He manages to resist Frankenstein's attacks and even grazes him with a bullet. Meanwhile, Reisel easily defeats Krantz, showcasing his formidable mind control abilities. Sarah joins the battle armed with a Death Scythe and brings down Hammer in a part of the building before escaping. Frankenstein spares Takeo upon Sarah's arrival, instructing him to deliver a message to Toshiro. Tao, determined to save the kids, resists Krantz's attempts to absorb him. Reisel intervenes, freezing Krantz in place so that Tao can escape. Regis witnesses Reisel's incredible power as he swiftly defeats Krantz. After the intense battles, M21 and Takeo wake up in the director's home. Takeo's concern for the kids is relieved by M21, assuring him that they are safe. Reisel experiences strain from using his power, but Frankenstein apologizes and Reisel forgives him without hesitation. At dinner, M21 and Takeo join them, and Frankenstein invites them to dine. Amidst banter between M21 and Regis, Reisel approaches M21, offering to unleash his true power briefly to prove his strength. While Tao reveals the truth, devastated, they plan to leave but receive a warm invitation to stay. Toshiro's frustration grows as he fails to capture any attention from the girls at school. They're captivated by Reisel, while Takeo and Tao, the new school security, also garner admiration. In the canteen, Toshiro briefly shows interest in Sarah, but quickly denies it when questioned by Manabu. Determined to help Toshiro with his love problem, Manabu seeks assistance from Tao, Takeo, and M21. The mention of love makes Tao and Takeo flee, but Toshiro pleads for their help when Manabu reveals his possible feelings for Sarah. With Reisel's support, they embark on a comical journey of research and banter, learning how to approach a girl and ask her out. Who knew they'd become a love advice squad? Their efforts lead them to seek guidance from Sarah's brother Regis, who shares that Sarah hasn't specified her preferences. Mind-controlled by Rai, Regis aids the group as they help Toshiro write a love letter and showcase his basketball skills. The letter, somehow reaching Sarah, prompts a confrontation where she acknowledges Toshiro's bravery in expressing his feelings. Meanwhile, at Reisel's house, they discover Frankenstein's plan to erase Toshiro and Manabu's memories. Reluctantly, Toshiro agrees, leading to a cheerful return to school with erased memories. As the Union plots to investigate Regis and Sarah, the story continues to unfold. Approaching Nieran High School, the mysterious man revealed himself as Gadgetel K. Landigra. Regis and Sarah greeted their grandfather at the gates, surprised to see Frankenstein alongside him. Gadgetel was led to witness the intertwined living quarters of nobles and modified humans. M21, Takeo, and Tao discovered Gadgetel's connection to Regis, sparking intrigue about Frankenstein's past. Gadgetel shared Rascrea's plan for revenge in the vulnerable state of Lugdonia due to her ascension. Revealing Regis and Sarah's mission to find a coffin, Gadgetel urged Rizel to return to Lugdonia. However, Rizel was torn, delaying his departure from the school. Frankenstein confronted Gadgetel, reigniting old grudges as memories of his brutal past as a noble hunter resurfaced. In a flashback, Frankenstein tortured the Central Order of Knights, earning his fearsome reputation. Later, he faced Gadgetel and Ragar, showcasing their immense powers. Their intense battle left bloody traces, but resulted in Frankenstein's narrow escape. Returning to the mansion, Frankenstein found a serene Rizel gazing at the moonlit window, a stark contrast to the chaos that engulfed them. Gadgetel stands firm, expressing concern over Frankenstein's presence and the discontent among nobles towards Rizel. He urges Rizel to persuade Frankenstein to meet the Lord's request for an audience, hoping to quell tensions before they escalate. The next day, Frankenstein faces hostility as he walks to the castle. Meeting the Lord, who badmouths Rizel, Frankenstein chooses loyalty to his friend. Other nobles question why the Lord tolerates him. The Lord suggests a blood pact between Frankenstein and Rizel, while Urukai warns of the danger. Later, Gadgetel advises Frankenstein to avoid trouble for Rizel, aware of his enemies and Rizel's protection. Urukai challenges Frankenstein, triggering a fierce battle. Frankenstein loses control but is stopped before causing harm. Rizel intervenes, connecting with Frankenstein and restoring him. In the present, they gather for a joyful dinner at Rizel's mansion. Frankenstein, Takeo, Tao, Rizel, Regis, M21, and Sarah united once again. Frank, having finished recounting his encounter with Rai, decides to stand by him due to the kindness he has shown. The next day at school, Regis is bewildered by the childish games the students are playing. Meanwhile, Takeo, Tao, and M21 sense the arrival of a formidable opponent. They instruct the students to go to class, but the powerful newcomer uses mind control to manipulate them. Sensing the presence of the intruder, Rai, Regis, and Sarah decide to confront him. Despite Rai being told to stay in the classroom, he insists on joining the fight. On the school grounds, the trio faces against the overpowering man. They quickly realize that he possesses immense strength. In the midst of their battle, M21 is impaled from behind when attempting to inquire about the man's identity. To their surprise, the man turns out to be Rael, who exclaims that he's here to bring Sarah back home. Regis, recognizing him, questions Rael's presence in disbelief. Rael, delighted to see Sarah, stands firm in his mission to take her away. Frankenstein, Regis, and Rizel embark on a daring mission to Lugdonia, their former home. They stumble upon a significant discovery: the sword left behind by the previous lord, hidden in Rizel's mansion. Meanwhile, Sarah and Gadgetel find themselves imprisoned for defying the current lord, Rascrea, who holds a deep hatred for Rizel. Back with the group, Frankenstein leaves the modified humans with a pill to enhance their abilities, assuring them it's different from the Union's drug. Surprisingly, they decide to stow away in the crashing plane, leading to an unexpected encounter with Regis, who valiantly fights off patrolling guards. The fight showcases Regis's grace and restraint as he tries to subdue the guards without causing harm. As the group faces the challenges ahead, Rizel reveals the truth. He's considered a criminal in the eyes of the nobles. M21 and Regis venture towards the mountain castle, with M21 expressing doubt about their chosen route. Regis, confident in his noble instincts, assures him they're on the right track. M21 playfully threatens to leave Regis behind if they get lost, prompting Tao to intervene through their communicator. Tao explains that their mission is to ensure their boss and his master reach the sanctuary safely. M21 and Regis are at the bait to divert enemy attention, while Rai and Frank make their move. Takeo and Tao stand ready as backup, while Frank and Rai patiently wait for the signal. Along the way, Rael blocks Tao and Regis descending from the sky with destructive force. Meanwhile, Sarah finds herself inside the castle, determined to rescue Gadgetel from eternal slumber. Rhaenyra confronts her, urging her to return to her cell. Saria refuses, entering a fighting stance. Rosaria, her elder sister, launches a powerful blast, setting the stage for a fierce clash. Rizel intervenes just in time to prevent Rascrea from putting Geshetel and Sarah into eternal sleep. The young noble leaders attempt to confront Rizel, but they're swiftly outmatched. It becomes evident that knowledge of the Noblesse's true power was not passed down through the generations. The clash between Rascrea and Rizel aims to be dramatic, but certain aspects of the fight feel inconsistent and hard to believe. Despite Rizel's typically reserved nature, his choice to provoke Rascrea instead of clarifying the misunderstanding adds an odd dynamic to the encounter. The explanation for the misunderstanding itself is later provided, but it proves to be frustrating and unsatisfying. We will find out soon enough in the next season, and until then, remember to like and subscribe to the channel.